if you want to support the show, any of the shows, either this or whichever show, I'm not on right now because this is just a blanket ad for all of them, and the website, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com. In the description for any of the episodes of Beware of Spoilers, there is the option to donate. If you don't want to donate that way, you can donate directly through the website. We do have that, mwpnews.com. And if you don't want to support that way, then going to mwpnews.com will help out because we have ads there. We don't want to keep it, where there's a lot of ads. There's a few ads. But the point is we want to make it so that way, we can sustain this for the long term. If people donate, we're never going to paywall anything, I don't think, as of right now. But if people start donating, we'll start doing cooler and cooler stuff. Like donations are how we get to cover stuff like Tribeca and other, film festivals. And, we may be able to bring on more people to help out. So if you want to help out the show and you want more content from us, by all means, even just going and giving us a 5-star rating on Spotify helps out a lot. But that's it. That's the only ad we'll have on the podcast ever. But here's whatever podcast you're going to be listening to. Good morning, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. It is Sunday. It is the day before Memorial Day. I am off tomorrow. It's a nice feeling. What we're here today to talk about is the most recent episode of Doctor Who. I think it's called 74 Yards, which is this episode where it's mostly a Ruby episode. And I think, to an extent, this was a necessary episode. Because I know, with me at least, I haven't I think that in the more recent episode before this, where it was the Doctor on the landmine, I started to get more endeared to Ruby and Doctor as that dynamic felt a little bit more like the dynamic between Doctor and Companion that I'm accustomed to, especially in the run of, post-reboot Doctor Who, or post-revival, I guess would be the right word. But considering that, that's where this is, I think this was I think that kind of did a lot to get me on that right track. Then, this episode, I think, did a lot more to continue to endear me to Ruby as a character, and not just Ruby as a plot device. Where it's she reminded me a lot of, my big issue with Rey in, Force Awakens and all of that is Rey's a mystery box as a character. I do not like a mystery box as a character. Especially if you have a female character who's going to be reduced to, okay, she's the mystery that needs to be solved for the plot to be, completed. Since she's the one who needs to be, solved, for lack of a better word, it does put you in a situation where it can lead to her being shortchanged as a character without getting as much development as she deserves. And I feel that has kind of gone away, considering this was basically just a Ruby episode. The Doctor's barely in it. It's all about what Ruby has to do to become, to solve this mystery that she's stuck in. And what it is her and the Doctor find this, fairy circle. And the Doctor accidentally steps in it. And this woman appears 73 yards away from Ruby. The Doctor vanishes. This woman appears 73 yards away from Ruby. So, the question is, why did this happen? And anytime someone approaches this woman, for any reason, this woman, whoever it is, runs away screaming. whatever this woman says to them makes them run away screaming. And you go through the episode, and there's an allusion early on to the fact that there's a prime minister from Wales in the future who eventually gets a nuclear arsenal and launches nukes just for the sake of launching nukes. And he was the worst, PM that they had, and it's an interesting kind of conundrum to put the character in. Because then she's like, okay, well, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to stop this guy from becoming prime minister. So she uses this woman who's stuck just out of reach to keep him from becoming prime minister. And then as the episode progresses, we eventually find out that the woman is future Ruby in a time loop who gets her to not stand in the fairy circle. It's a cool episode, and I think the way they do it is interesting. That said, if you think about it for any longer than 5 seconds, it's a little, I don't want to say confusing, it's a little well, what is going on here? Why is she, what causes her to, what is she saying to these people that causes them to run away screaming? If it is just future Ruby, it's one of those things where it's well, how did that work? What did she say to these people that get them to run away, and then never tell anyone what they did? And if the goal of it was to just stop her from stepping in the fairy circle, in this new timeline, does this also stop him from becoming prime minister because she stopped herself from stepping in the fairy circle? There's a lot of questions that arise out of this, and I'm just I don't think there's really a satisfying answer for, I would say, most of these, if not all of these, to the point where I'm why are we bothering? What's the point of us doing this if this is going to be, what this is? And look, I enjoyed the episode until I thought about it after the fact. Once I thought about it after the fact, I was that's a little weird. It's a little weird that the episode does this, and it doesn't really give you a solid explanation. Is this somehow tied to Ruby's powers? Where there is something to her, where she, we don't know what it is yet, but there is something paranormal or cosmic to her. Could this be related? Is that what this is going for? If that's the case, then why are we not exploring that a little bit more? I'm just a little interested to see what the goal here is. Because if her power, I'm firmly of the belief that by the time this season is over, Ruby is going to be one of the constructs that is similar to, that's similar to the Maestro, similar to the Toymaker, and I think the Doctor's included in that as well. I think she's going to be one of these things. And when that happens, how does that impact her relationship with the Doctor? And if that's the case, and the Doctor is also related, as he is also this thing that, predates the universe itself, that is the physical embodiment of something, in this case time, then what does this have to do with it, if that's the case? It's just don't think about it too hard, I guess would be my lesson here on this episode, that if you don't think about it too hard, and you just go for a surface level, well, what are we doing here? It's a pretty interesting episode about Ruby using her ingenuity to save the day, and then save herself. But could it be that this is just a manifestation of her powers in some other way? I think that's what it ended up being, is that, she could manifest the snow. You know what it could be? We've dealt with the Toymaker, who's games and rules and things like that. We've dealt with Maestro, who's music. What if she's memory? What if she's memory? And in that way, she can project herself through memory. And that's what this is. Because I do still firmly believe that she is going to end up being one of these universal constructs. And if that is the case, like, this is the new one, like, if we're looking at, like, these people as the Endless from, what was that, from Sandman, like, she could be one of the siblings, and we don't know what she embodies. And it'd be interesting to see how that works within the confines of this show. But we'll wrap up there for today. I enjoyed the episode in spite of my arguing. I mean, and maybe this is something where it's like, look, if you think about it right now, it doesn't make sense, but down the line, as we get through this season, which I think we're about halfway through now, because I think it's 8 episodes, but as we get through the season, maybe we get a more concrete answer, and it makes it make a little bit more sense. But just trying to parse it out based on what we've seen, it is a little difficult. But we'll wrap up there for today. And until our next episode, have a great rest of your